The new James Bond movie, A Time to Die, is out in theaters, and since it's Daniel Craig's last film, many are wondering if the next film will feature a female 00. Well, that got me thinking about the role real female agents play in keeping us safe every day. So I turned to a real-life former spy, Christina Hillsburg, who lives right here in Western Washington. I thought it would be really fun to talk to you about the world of espionage, the world that you were in. And I think it's really on top of people's minds because a lot of folks are talking about a female possibly taking over the franchise for 007.
The world's moved on, Commander Bond.
You were 00?
2 years. So stay in your lane. You get in my way, I will put a bullet in your knee.
What do you think about that?
There has been so much buzz about it, and I think it would be very exciting to see a woman in this role, but also as, Phoebe Waller-Bridge, who I'll note is only the second woman to have a screenwriter credit in the Bond franchise in almost 60 years. She actually responded with Bond is Bond. We just need to cook up someone to rival him. And I think that would be great as well. A woman blazing her own trail. And as we know, they do exist. And it would be great to see that on screen.
I completely agree. Actually, that's perfectly well stated. What do people approach you about? What are they most curious about when it comes to spies and espionage?
Well, I think people ask often, is it like the movies? And I like to say that James Bond is very entertaining, but when it comes to espionage and tradecraft, he's not the best example. You're causing an explosion or an elaborate car chase everywhere you go. That's not a good thing. You want to be committing espionage in the shadows, right under the noses of foreign governments without them realizing it's being done. But one of the things this latest movie, No Time to Die, does great is the portrayal of women. Even though we still have James Bond, Daniel Craig in the role, we're seeing a very big difference in how the women are portrayed. We're not seeing the stereotypical Bond girl. Mm-hmm. We're seeing what they're now calling Bond women, but I'm just going to call them women, right?
Yeah.
We call them Bond women. Let's just call them women because they are fully capable. We've got Lashana Lynch as Nomi, the 00 agent, who is incredible. We've got Ana de Armas, who's playing a green CIA operative, and she steals the show in her scene. It's just fantastic. And then, of course, you see a return of his love interest, which Dr. Madeline Swan, played by Léa Seydoux. And you don't see that very often, where the story arc continues into the next film. And I think that is wonderful as well. We're seeing more representation, which I think is really exciting for women.
I love that. And it's so true. And it's exciting to see. You absolutely don't see that. And every time there was a Bond woman, it was a woman in a bathing suit. And I know times have changed, but how important is it that we all know the role that women have played when it comes to espionage for our country?
It's so important. From Virginia Hall in World War II, she was the most highly decorated female civilian during World War II. And she was spying working with both Britain and the US, from Virginia Hall all the way to Gina Haspel, who was the first female director of the CIA in 2018. Women have been playing a huge role in espionage for decades. And so it's about time we depict that and let people see how it really happens. And the fact that there are women who are chasing terrorists, they're holding asset meetings, they're writing for the president, they're briefing policymakers. They are playing such a large role beyond what you've seen in so many movies.
What is a typical, I would say day like in the life of a spy? I mean, obviously Bond is no longer a secret agent when he's blowing things up, but what is it like?
Well, it can vary from day to day, which I think is one of the things that makes it so exciting. So if you're in the Directorate of Operations, which is where I worked in the latter part of my career, you may be meeting with an intelligence asset, which means you're conducting a surveillance detection route to and from that meeting, because it's very important that you're not bringing a local intelligence service, local security service with you so that you're keeping your asset and yourself safe. The people who choose to work with CIA often do so at great risk to themselves and their families. So it's really crucial that you have solid trade craft. And if you're on the analytic side, which is where I was for the bulk of my career, you're going into work, you're reading the intelligence traffic from overnight, you're answering taskings from US policymakers, you're writing for what's called the President's Daily Brief book. You may be going downtown, giving briefings. It's very exciting. There's always something different going on. And it's a really fantastic community of camaraderie as well, because you're all working for a mission. And I think that can really unite people. And there are some really incredible people at the CIA, both men and women.
Absolutely. People who have saved our country in ways we probably will never, ever know.
That's the thing, you hear about intelligence failures, but for all of those intelligence failures you hear about, there are many, many more successes that you won't hear about. And so the people who are choosing to, work in this line of work at the CIA are doing so knowing that their successes probably won't be known.
That was so great. Thanks to her for sharing.